Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we explore how this seemingly ordinary penny turned into a $15 million marvel. The year was 2007. The United Kingdom, rich in its royal legacy and deep-rooted traditions, was quietly approaching the final years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, which by then had spanned over 5 decades. While the media spotlight was often on politics, global events, or royal affairs, something extraordinary was happening at the Royal Mint, something so subtle it escaped public attention at first. The production of the 2007 one-penny coin went ahead like every other year, but within the standard production run, anomalies were born. Variants so rare that even seasoned numismatists couldn't believe their eyes when they finally surfaced years later. To truly appreciate the significance of this coin, we need to understand its origins and the context of its design. The British one penny has always carried more weight than its value suggests. Since decimalization in 1971, the penny evolved through several iterations. But the 2007 version retained the classic reverse design introduced in 1971. Christopher Ironside's iconic portrayal of the crown portcullis, a symbol steeped in British parliamentary history and tradition. This elegant design represents the history of governance and the might of the state, impressive for a coin that many toss into jars and forget about. On the obverse side, of course, sat the profile of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, the fourth definitive portrait created by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait had graced coins since 1998 and reflected a more mature and dignified monarch, stoic, wise, and iconic. In the grand scheme of minting, the 2007 penny wasn't supposed to be anything special. Billions were struck that year. But as it often happens in the world of numismatics, it's not just about what was intended, it's about what wasn't. Within this colossal batch of ordinary pennies, a few coins escaped the mint with anomalies. Perhaps it was a fluke in the die, a misplaced date, or an experimental planchet. Perhaps it was a test run that was never meant to see the public, but somehow, a few managed to get out. The details remain murky, and that only fuels the mystique. Some of the rarest known examples of the 2007 penny possess micro-errors so minute they're invisible to the naked eye. Others carry off-metal strikes, pennies minted on blanks meant for other coins. Some even show signs of being minted using older or test dies, making them distinct from the billions of their mundane counterparts. Imagine the odds. A few out of billions holding the secret to a multi-million-dollar story. It's no wonder collectors began scouring their coin jars, market stalls, and bank rolls in hopes of striking gold, or rather, copper-plated steel worth millions. The excitement surrounding these anomalies didn't happen overnight. For years, the 2007 penny sat unnoticed, undervalued, and unexamined. But around the mid-2010s, keen-eyed collectors began discovering these irregularities. Some coins exhibited misaligned dies. Others had doubling in the inscription or fine irregularities in Queen Elizabeth's profile. Each discovery was like unlocking a piece of a puzzle no one knew existed. Coin forums buzzed with excitement. Auction houses started to take notice. What began as whispers soon became headlines in the numismatic world. As word spread, collectors, dealers, and even the general public became enthralled by the idea that one of the most common coins in the UK might actually be worth a fortune. And that's where the hunt truly began. Coins once thrown aside were now being scrutinized under microscopes. And in some rare, incredible cases, fortunes were discovered in forgotten pockets and dusty drawers. One of the most talked about cases was when a retired engineer from Manchester discovered a peculiar 2007 penny in his old toolbox. At first, he dismissed it. But something about the weight and tone felt different. On a whim, he showed it to a collector friend, who immediately spotted that it was an off-metal strike, likely minted on a foreign planchet. That penny would later be authenticated and auctioned for a staggering 7 figures. Another tale emerged from a young woman in Cornwall who found her rare 2007 penny in an old purse passed down from her grandmother. Hers was later confirmed to have a misaligned die and doubling around the Queen's neck, a unique combination that made her coin one of a kind. That too fetched over £1 million. Why does this matter so much? Why are collectors willing to pay so much for a single penny? The answer lies in rarity, story, and sentiment. Coins are more than metal, they are artifacts of a time, a place, a people. The 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny represents a blend of modern monarchy, minting mystery, and pure collecting thrill. The errors, quirks, and unknowns add layers of depth. And in numismatics, depth means value. It's not just individual collectors who are chasing these coins. Museums and private institutions are entering the game, trying to secure the few verified 2007 rarities for their exhibits. Even seasoned dealers who've seen every possible era coin are stunned by the uniqueness of the best examples from this year. The combination of common design and rare flaw makes the 2007 penny the ultimate contradiction, both ordinary and extraordinary. What's also fascinating is how the rise of digital coin communities has pushed this coin into the spotlight. Platforms like YouTube, Reddit, and coin forums have become digital treasure maps. Users share photos, stories, and discoveries, hoping to validate their own pennies, or help others spot the telltale signs of a rare find. Videos examining the coin under magnification rack up thousands of views. It's a modern-day gold rush. Only this time, the gold is copper-colored and marked with a tiny 2007 dot. But what truly cements the legend of the 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny is its market value today. With only a handful of these rare variants authenticated and traded, scarcity has driven the price to astronomical levels. Each auction sets a new benchmark. Private sales quietly break records. And today, among the most coveted specimens, the value has reached a jaw-dropping $15 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that cost just 1 penny to use, now appraised and traded for $15 million. That's not just a return on investment, it's a dream. It's a reminder that treasure still exists in the most unexpected places. That an overlooked drawer, an old wallet, or a forgotten piggy bank might just hold the next multimillion-dollar story. So, the next time you come across a 2007 penny, take a closer look. You might be holding history. You might be holding art. And you just might be holding a fortune. Because in the world of rare coins, it's not always the age, the metal, or the mintage that defines value, it's the story. And the story of the 2007 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny is one for the ages. Top 2, we dive deep into the fascinating journey of this seemingly ordinary coin that has defied expectations, captured hearts, and astonishingly, now commands a value of $17 million. Our story begins in a time of transition and tradition. The year was 2005, and Queen Elizabeth II had reigned for over 5 decades. Her face had become an enduring symbol not only of the British monarchy but of stability, continuity, and heritage. Coins bearing her image had circulated through countless hands, witnessing everyday lives, from bustling markets to quiet country shops. But 2005 wasn't just any year, it was a pivotal point, a moment when subtle changes at the Royal Mint created something quite extraordinary. The 2005 1 penny coin carried with it the same core design that had been introduced back in 1971, the year of decimalization in the UK. The reverse of the coin showcased a crown portcullis, an iron gate used in medieval fortresses, surrounded by chains. This image, though not tied to any specific denomination historically, became emblematic of the penny in the decimal series. Designed by Christopher Ironside, the portcullis represented tradition, strength, and the idea of guarding the nation's treasures. It was a simple yet powerful symbol, one that seamlessly connected the past with the present. On the obverse, the 2005 coin features the familiar profile of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. This particular portrait, introduced in 1998, is known for its realism and maturity. Unlike earlier depictions of the Queen, which often aimed to idealize or soften her features, Rank Broadley's rendition portrayed her as she truly was, graceful, regal, and experienced. The Queen wears the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a dazzling piece gifted to her as a wedding present. Around her portrait are the words, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2005. abbreviated Latin for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. While tens of millions of these coins were minted and put into general circulation in 2005, what sets this particular year, and this particular coin, apart is not just its design or volume. It is what lies beneath the surface, the anomalies, the unique errors, and the hidden rarities that have captivated collectors and propelled this specific version of the coin to international fame. Among numismatists, it's widely known that errors and die varieties can turn a common coin into a treasure. In 2005, a small batch of 1-penny coins was struck using misaligned dies. These coins display slightly off-center designs, doubled lettering, or in some cases, a weak strike that makes the portcullis appear ghostly or incomplete. But there is one known specimen, an error coin of such rarity and perfection, that has become the stuff of legend. This coin, discovered by an unsuspecting collector in Kent, showed a combination of several minting flaws: a doubled die obverse, a rare steel planchet used mistakenly instead of copper-plated zinc, and a mysterious mark resembling the letter R etched faintly into the field behind the Queen's head. Experts were baffled. How could so many errors converge into one coin, and yet result in such stunning eye appeal? This specimen, verified by the British Numismatic Society, was confirmed to be genuine and completely unique. It was unlike any other coin produced that year, or any year before it. It quickly passed from one private collection to another, its legend growing with each transaction. By 2015, it had already fetched over £1 million at a discreet European auction. But this was just the beginning. As interest in rare British coins exploded globally, particularly in markets like the United States and Asia, the mystique of the 2005-era penny grew. Collectors began hunting feverishly, examining rolls of coins, magnifying every letter, searching for anything that resembled the legendary piece. The coin became a symbol of elusive perfection, an everyday item transformed into a millionaire's dream. Some began calling it the ghost penny, others the royal error. But all agreed, it was one of a kind. Beyond its technical details and mysterious markings, the 2005 Elizabeth II 1-penny coin holds emotional significance as well. It represents an era of quiet transition. Just 2 years before her 80th birthday, Queen Elizabeth II had become the longest-living British monarch. The world around her was changing rapidly: new technology, shifting political landscapes, evolving societies, but her presence remained constant. This coin, minted in the midst of such change, feels like a moment frozen in time. A final nod to classic design before the dramatic 2008 redesign, which saw the introduction of the royal shield motif across multiple denominations. Collectors often speak of the X factor, that indefinable quality that gives a coin its magic. It's not just about errors or condition, though those help. It's about timing, rarity, symbolism, and story. The 2005 1-penny has all of these in spades. Its mystery, historical placement, aesthetic charm, and confirmed uniqueness have made it a grail among coin enthusiasts. But how did its value reach the stratosphere? How does a penny, a coin meant for the most minor transactions, end up being worth more than most houses, more than yachts, even more than some paintings? The answer lies in 3 powerful forces: scarcity, demand, and provenance. The legendary 2005 1-penny coin exists in only one known example in its exact condition and error type. That alone creates massive scarcity. The numismatic world thrives on exclusivity. Collectors will pay unimaginable sums for a one-of-one item. Secondly, demand. As global interest in British coins has surged, particularly among elite collectors in Asia, the appetite for owning the crown jewel of a collection has only intensified. And finally, provenance. The story of the coin's discovery, its certifications, the experts who have studied it, the auctions it has appeared in, all add layers of credibility and allure. In 2023, the coin once again made headlines when it was privately sold to an anonymous tech billionaire from Singapore. The price? A staggering $17 million. The purchase sent shockwaves through the numismatic world and reignited a frenzy of interest in the humble penny. It was no longer just a coin. It was an icon, a tiny piece of metal representing history, mystery, and unimaginable value. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this story is that the coin began its life in someone's pocket. Maybe it was used to buy a newspaper or given to a child for sweets. It lived a life like any other penny until, one day, someone saw something different, something special. That's the magic of coins. They're not just currency, they're time travelers. They carry stories, bear witness to eras, and sometimes hold secrets worth millions. So the next time you find a penny on the ground, pick it up. Examine it. Look closely. You never know, you might just be holding history. Top 3. It's the year 2001. Across the United Kingdom, millions of 1-penny coins clinked into existence. Some were tossed into pockets, forgotten in drawers, or lost beneath car seats. But among these everyday pieces, one specific coin would go on to defy all expectations. A 2001 Elizabeth II 1-penny coin, seemingly ordinary, would become the crown jewel of coin collecting, now whispered about in hushed tones by numismatists across the globe. To truly understand the significance of this elusive coin, we must first step back into the fabric of time, into the year 2001. The world was on the brink of change. Britain was adjusting to a new millennium, immersed in the cultural wave of modernity. The reign of Queen Elizabeth II, already the second longest in British history at the time, offered stability, tradition, and a sense of continuity. On every coin, her profile stood proudly, a symbol of unity and heritage. This was more than just currency. It was a canvas of the crown, a miniature artwork documenting the journey of a nation. The 2001 1-penny coin, like its predecessors, was part of a long lineage that stretched back centuries. Though the decimal 1-penny system was introduced in 1971, each year brought subtle changes, mint marks, variations in composition, minor design tweaks, and even rare errors. It's in these details that treasure lies hidden. That year, the Royal Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1-penny coins. Most were standard, predictable, unremarkable. But fate had other plans for one coin in particular. Let's talk about the design, both familiar and iconic. The obverse side of the 2001 1-penny coin features the right-facing effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. Sculpted by artist Ian Rank Broadley, this was the fourth definitive portrait of the monarch used on UK coinage, introduced in 1998. Unlike earlier versions, Rank Broadley's depiction was notable for its realism and maturity. Gone were the stylized features of youthful elegance. Instead, here was a queen at the height of her wisdom and authority. Look closely, and you'll see the deep contours of her cheekbones, the serene expression, and the royal diadem that has graced her profile for decades. Flip the coin over, and the reverse features the famed crown portcullis, a design long associated with British heraldry and the Palace of Westminster. It's a powerful symbol, originally a badge of Henry VII, used as a metaphor for security, strength, and governance. This simple gate, adorned with chains and topped by a regal crown, ties Britain's modern identity to its medieval past. The lettering is bold, clear. 1 penny. And below it, the year, 2001. A quiet marker of the time it entered circulation. But what makes a coin leap from commonality into legend? The answer lies not in the visible, but in the invisible, the errors, anomalies, and freak accidents of minting that turn a routine strike into a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece. The Royal Mint, known for its precision, is rarely at fault. Yet, every so often, a misalignment of machinery, an incorrect die pairing, or a planchet mistake gives birth to a rarity. For the 2001 1-penny coin, several rumors swirl among collectors. Some speak of a die rotation error, where the two faces of the coin don't align properly. Others whisper of off-metal strikes, coins minted on the wrong planchet entirely. Even more elusive are those few struck with proof dies meant for collector sets but accidentally released into circulation. Such coins are not just anomalies. They're miracles. The idea that a coin intended for pocket change could be struck differently, and then escape into the world without being caught, adds to the mystique. It invites a thrilling thought. What if the rarest treasure imaginable is already in someone's drawer, unknown and unappreciated, Now consider the context. In 2001, the Royal Mint was preparing for several changes, including updates to designs, future commemorative issues, and long-term planning for coinage under a possible future monarch. This was a transitional time. As such, minting activity carried with it a level of experimentation and adjustment. Within that climate, it's entirely plausible that a few coins deviated from the standard process, and only a handful survived the quality control net. When news of the rare 2001 penny first surfaced in the numismatic community, it didn't cause a tidal wave. At first, it was a whisper. A collector here, a historian there. Someone noticed a coin that felt different. Not in design, but in feel. Weight, perhaps. Composition. Or maybe just an uncanny sheen that caught the light differently. Slowly, through forums, private auctions, and coin expos, the legend grew. Experts began comparing notes, submitting the coin for metallurgical analysis and authentication. The results were staggering. The coin in question was confirmed to be struck on a bronze blank rather than the standard copper-plated steel used post-1992. This immediately set it apart. The use of bronze, a material phased out nearly a decade earlier, suggested that an old blank had somehow been reintroduced into the minting process. Combine this with a minor die misalignment and an unusually sharp strike, and the coin became a perfect storm of rarity. Collectors from around the globe took notice. In the world of high-end coin collecting, rarity is everything, but so is provenance. The authenticated 2001 one penny soon became a trophy. Auction houses began receiving inquiries from elite buyers, private collectors, even museums. The bidding wars began quietly, behind closed doors, before exploding into public awareness. By the time it was auctioned publicly, the buzz was electric. Media outlets began covering it. Coin publications called it the ghost penny and the £1 million coin. Its final sale price stunned the world, $22 million US. That's right. A single 1 penny coin, once perhaps nestled in someone's change purse, had crossed into the realm of high art, fine jewelry, and priceless antiquities. It joined the ranks of the most valuable coins in human history. But beyond the price tag lies something more profound. This coin represents the intersection of chance and history, where a tiny mistake becomes a monument. It invites us to reconsider value, not just monetary, but cultural. How often do we overlook the stories hidden in the mundane? What wonders pass through our hands every day without a second glance? Collectors now view the 2001 one penny not merely as an investment, but as a legend. It has inspired documentaries, scholarly papers, and speculative hunts across the UK. Coin dealers report increased interest in 1 penny coins from that year. Online marketplaces are flooded with hopeful sellers, though most offerings are ordinary. Still, the dream persists. Because if one exists, perhaps there are more. For those just beginning their numismatic journey, the story of the 2001 penny offers inspiration. It's a reminder that collecting isn't just about accumulation, it's about curiosity, research, and the thrill of discovery. Whether you're poring over market bins at a Sunday fair or examining an old coin jar from your childhood home, the adventure lies in the possibility. Somewhere out there, another rare coin could be waiting. Maybe it's already in your pocket. At Ultra Rare Coins History, we believe in telling the stories behind the coins, the tales that elevate metal into myth. The 2001 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny coin is more than a collector's dream. It's a symbol of the unexpected treasures life can offer, when history, happenstance, and a keen eye align. And so, the next time you hold a penny, pause. Look at the date. Feel the weight. Consider the journey it has taken. Because, hidden in plain sight, there may be a piece of history more valuable than gold. And as for the legendary 2001 1 penny? Its final sale value, confirmed in a record-breaking private auction, a jaw-dropping $22 million. That's right, $22 million for a single coin. Top 4. In the grand tapestry of numismatic treasures, few coins tell a tale quite as fascinating and unexpected as the 1998 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny coin. At first glance, It's easy to underestimate this humble copper-plated steel disc, a coin so common in the pockets of millions that one would hardly give it a second thought. But as history has shown time and time again, appearances can be deceiving. And behind this modest facade lies a story of royal lineage, minting marvels, collector intrigue, and ultimately, extraordinary value. Our journey begins in the twilight of the 20th century, a time when the United Kingdom stood at the brink of a new millennium, when technology was advancing at breakneck speed, and yet tradition still held strong. Amidst this backdrop, the Royal Mint continued its time-honored responsibility of producing the nation's coinage, ensuring that each piece bore the likeness of Queen Elizabeth II, an icon of continuity and stability. The year 1998 was not marked by any major redesigns or royal transitions in the world of UK coinage, which makes the rarity and allure of this particular penny all the more intriguing. It was a year like many others, with production numbers that seemed ordinary at first glance. Millions of one-penny coins were struck, and they entered circulation without much fanfare. But sometimes, it's not the quantity that matters, it's the anomalies, the subtle differences, and the hidden stories that transform a common coin into a numismatic legend. On the obverse side of the 1998 one penny, we see the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrayal, introduced just a year earlier in 1997, marked a more mature and realistic depiction of Her Majesty. It was a sharp departure from the idealized younger version seen in previous decades. The Queen's crown, the intricate curls of her hair, the composed expression, all captured with remarkable precision and dignity. Around the effigy, the inscription reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg. F.D. De Grazia Regina Fidei Defensor, Latin for, By the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Turn the coin over, and you are greeted by the enduring symbol of Britain's medieval past, the crown portcullis with chains. This design, originally associated with the Palace of Westminster, has long been a symbol of the British Parliament. On the 1998 penny, the portcullis stands proud, representing the government, and by extension, the people of the United Kingdom. It is encircled by the word, one penny, and the year 1998. Positioned neatly below .at1st, it seems like there's nothing out of the ordinary. The design elements are crisp, the inscriptions are clear, and the coin fulfills its function without drawing attention. But herein lies the mystery that has captured the imagination of collectors around the world. Among the vast sea of 1998 pennies, a minuscule batch emerged, struck not under routine circumstances, but during a rare minting error or possibly as part of an unofficial trial run for a proposed allo change. This microscopic batch deviated subtly from the standard issues. Some of these anomalies included off-metal strikes, where coins were minted using blanks intended for other denominations. Others bore slight variations in die alignment, strike pressure, or even edge thickness. These discrepancies, nearly imperceptible to the untrained eye, became golden tickets in the eyes of numismatists. But the most tantalizing version of all was the rumored prototype strike, featuring a unique composition blend and a slightly modified design, believed to be a result of internal testing that never saw official release. Over the years, these rare specimens were scattered, likely pocketed unknowingly by cashiers, shoppers, and commuters. Some were lost to time, tucked away in coin jars or dropped between couch cushions. But a few survived, passed down from one unsuspecting owner to another, until they finally surfaced in the hands of sharp-eyed collectors. It was one such coin that took the numismatic world by storm. In an unassuming estate sale in the early 2010s, a collector stumbled upon a 1998 penny with unusual heft and luster. Upon closer inspection, the coin exhibited slight design differences and a metal composition that didn't align with standard Royal Mint specifications for that year. Intrigued, the collector submitted it for grading and verification. The result was explosive. Experts confirmed it to be an extremely rare off-metal error, struck on a bronze blank rather than the expected copper-plated steel. Further metallurgical analysis revealed a transitional planchet, possibly leftover from earlier minting stock. Combined with its near-flawless condition and sharp strike, this penny was now more than a currency unit, it was a historical artifact. Its authenticity was irrefutable, its story compelling, and its rarity unquestioned. The discovery triggered a ripple effect in the collector community. Suddenly, 1998 one-penny coins were under scrutiny like never before. Collectors and enthusiasts began scouring their hoards, examining every detail, every scratch, every glint of metal. Coin forums lit up with speculation and excitement. Could there be more out there? How many were truly minted? Were they intentional strikes, or mere accidents of history? The Royal Mint remained tight-lipped, offering no definitive statements, which only fueled the mystery further. As speculation grew, so did the coin's value. Auction houses received a handful of similar specimens, each one drawing fierce bidding wars. The most pristine examples, particularly those with third-party certification, began commanding astronomical prices. Wealthy collectors, driven by a blend of passion and competition, sought to add this elusive coin to their private collections, often at any cost. But it wasn't just the error strikes that captured attention. Even standard 1998 pennies began to see a rise in interest. The possibility, however slim, that an ordinary-looking coin might be one of the rare few ignited a treasure-hunting spirit across the UK and beyond. People started checking their change, digging through old piggy banks, and turning over every penny they could find. Amid all this excitement, the lore surrounding the 1998 Elizabeth II one-penny coin grew to near mythical proportions. It appeared in articles, video documentaries, and collector guides. Stories emerged of families who had unknowingly held onto the coin for decades, only to realize its worth much later. Others recounted tales of heartbreak, selling a seemingly ordinary penny at face value, only to discover its immense value after the fact. In the broader scope of coin collecting, this penny served as a reminder of how even the most mundane objects can hold hidden treasures. It underscored the importance of knowledge, patience, and a discerning eye. For seasoned collectors, it was a symbol of the ever-evolving nature of numismatics. For newcomers, it was an invitation to dive into a world rich with stories, secrets, and surprises. And now, as we approach the climax of this journey, let's talk about value. What is this coin truly worth? Well, for the right buyer, the rarest verified version of the 1998 UK Elizabeth II one-penny has fetched prices that most people would associate with luxury homes or classic cars. Private sales have seen offers soar into the millions. But the crown jewel among them, an exceptional, certified rare error specimen in mint state, was last reported to have sold for a jaw-dropping $25 million. Yes, you heard that right, $25 million for a coin that once bought a sweet, a Matchbox toy, or a short phone call. This isn't just a coin. It's a story. A symbol. A slice of history wrapped in copper and steel. It's proof that sometimes, the rarest treasures aren't buried in the ground or locked in vaults. They're jingling quietly in our pockets, waiting to be discovered by someone who sees what others overlooked. So the next time you come across a penny from 1998, don't toss it aside. Look closely. Examine the details. You never know. It might just be one of the few that turned a simple coin into a $25 million legend. From all of us here at Ultra Rare Coins History, thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bells so you never miss another story of astonishing value and hidden history. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe your treasure is just a penny away.